welcome to a brand spanking new video in Digital Combat Simulator, DCS. Yes, we're back with the mighty FA-18 Hornet. Now, last video we was basically taking the Hornet out for a joyride essentially. This time, things are getting a little bit more real, because as you can see, this Hornet is armed. Currently sitting on the Hornet is 4 LAU-61 rocket pods with 19 2.75-inch Hydra unguided rockets. And what we're going to do today, we're going to be flying out of Nellis Air Force Base, and we are going to be going over to a range, and we're going to be trying to light it up a little bit. Now this is going to be like a training mission. The rockets aren't going to be that effective, if I'm perfectly honest, because the targets are old Russian T-55 tanks. So these rockets probably aren't going to do a great deal of damage to it, but it is going to show you what a Hornet can do in ground attack mode. So let's get the Hornet up and rolling over towards the range. So, welcome back to the Hornet, and we're just getting a few things set up. Ready for departure. I hope you liked the last video. Like I say, we are trying to work up a display in the Hornet. Probably based around Nellis. But at the moment, it's all things realistic. Well, as realistic as we can make them. Because I don't know whether we can see them. Yep, just over there. We're carrying rocket pods. Completely unguided, so yes, but it's going to be down to the pilot's aim. It should be interesting anyway to see a combat F-18 Hornet. Basically, today's mission, not a particularly long one. We're going to be departing out on the runway ahead of us, and we're going to be flying out to the range, roughly where we was flying before. We're going to be completing even some diving, strafing strikes with rockets until the rocket pods are empty, and then we shall be hopefully arriving back here at Nellis. We shall be making a break-in and approach, not straight-in approach, and hopefully landing back here shortly, minus a few rockets. So, clear on the left, clear on the right. Final checks. And we shall set up the head-mounted display. Always forget about that. Brakes on, 50% throttle. Check the engine's spooling up correctly. Brakes off, let's go. Coming into burner. Be nice if we can go in a straight line. Gear coming up, flaps up, out of burner. And a nice victory fly past. As we head out to the range. Now, for all those that fly or think about flying in DCS, there is a lot of modules to actually buy. And you might be wondering, what's a good module to fly? Well, you can't really go wrong with the Hornet. It does just about everything. Air to air, air to ground, Air Force, Navy, Marines. You can practice on the carrier, so you can buy the super carrier pack. And you can fly this off a carrier, so it does just about everything. I absolutely love the Hornet, I really do. I find myself going back to it, and it just feels so good, and I've got a lot of aircraft for DCS. So anyway, we're going to climb up to 5,000 feet. And we're going to get to the approach to the range. And I shall see you guys very shortly. Right, the target range is just off our nose, just coming up on 10 o'clock. So, selecting air to ground mode. I don't know why the master arm was supposed to be in the wrong position there. We're selecting rockets, CCIP, which is the aiming mode. We're going to be salvoing, so each rocket pod will fire at the same time per trigger pull. And let's go do some damage. Master arm is on.
Altitude. Altitude.
And wave off. Throttling up and turning out. Master arm back safe. Now these rockets are purely high explosive, they will not do a lot of damage to armoured targets like T-55 tanks, but it does mean that we can hit them again and again and again. So we have 56 rockets left. Master arm is set to arm.
Altitude. Altitude.
Put the pipper on the target. Wave off. No sign of damage from the tanks. trying to dodge any potential flak that would be coming from the target if they were real. Back up to 7,000 feet. Target's still good. We've got 16 rounds, 16 rockets left. So, turn back in, master arm set to arm. Putting the pipper on the target,
Altitude.
roughly.
Altitude.
And there we go. All rockets expended. Master arm back to safe, air to ground mode, coming out of. And now it's a case of flying back to Nellis Air Force Base. So we shall see you back after the short flight. You join us back as we are starting our approach into Nellis Air Force Base. So, like I said at the start of this video, if you're into your military aircraft, you're going to like DCS. DCS is about as real as we can get, really, with simulators and simulating military aircraft. Now, when you like to say look at the different modules, yes, they are very expensive, but all of this works. Well, I would say 95% of it works, if not all of it. So if you want an accurate rendition of a favourite aircraft and it's in DCS, it's going to be worth it, it really is. And like I said at the start, the Hornet is absolutely fantastic, it really is. A good all-rounder. So anyway, let's get this aircraft back on the runway. So like I said, while we're still on the ground, landing approach is going to be a fly-in over Nellis, brake to the right, enter the landing pattern.
Altitude. Altitude.
Don't need that anymore. No, well, let's keep it. We'll set it about 300 feet. We will be making videos of the Hornet on an aircraft carrier, which will always be interesting, trying to put an aircraft down on an aircraft carrier. So carrier ops are definitely in the future. So, over the base now, clear to the left, clear to the right, clear above. Just about holding a 5-degree nose up, watching out for the mountains, they're the closest to the obstructions. Flaps are set to the mid setting. On the downwind now for the runways. Runway 03, I believe. The Just keeping out a situational awareness of where we are and where we need to be. Gear coming down. Retrimming the aircraft out a little bit. Looking for about 160 on the touchdown. Runway in sight. Don't need flaps to be at full, the runway's long enough. Now it's all about lining up the hood. Gear down, flaps mid-setting. Air brake in. Feet. Nose flaring. Throttling back. That's actually one of the better landings I've made. Just tapping the brakes a little bit. Like I say, we don't need full flaps for Nellis Air Force Base. The runway's plenty long enough, haven't even used the air brake. Flaps coming up. And there we are. I hope you've enjoyed this little video showing off the Hornet with rocket pods. We will be using other munitions, including dumb bombs. I've got so many different ammunition to use. We will be using soft skin targets, so there will be more bang for your buck. We'll also be using the Hornet's cannon as well, so there's always that to look forward to. And like I say, we're doing a display video. We're trying to work up a display. It's not going to be accurate to any F-18 Hornet display that in real, but it will be quite something for the sim. We'll also be working towards carrier ops, which would include landings, takeoffs, traps, and all the rest of that good fun that is involving putting an aircraft onto a moving boat. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've got any questions or comments, put them below and I will answer them, and I will see you again in DCS or Microsoft Flight Simulator.